Let me ask you a question. Can you actually build wealth while still in bad debt? Most people think the answer is no, because the advice they keep hearing is always the same. Pay off your debt first, then start investing. I get why that sounds logical. It sounds responsible. It sounds safe. But the truth of the matter is that advice is slow, sometimes painfully slow. And by the time you finish paying off bad debt the old way, you've lost years of wealth building time you can never get back. I've been in this financial space for 37 years. I've sat with individuals who followed every rule, low debt, good credit, doing the right things, and they were still stuck. That's not a debt problem. That's really a system problem. And the system was designed that way on purpose. Well, today I'm going to show you a system that lets you pay off debt and build wealth simultaneously. Not 50 cents toward debt, 50 cents toward savings. $1 doing both jobs at the same time. But before I get into how, there's something about the system itself that most financial advisors will not tell you. And once you see it, everything you thought you knew changes. So let's get this. Here's the real problem. Most people think that once they get their credit right, everything else falls into place. They work hard, they fix the score, they clean up the report, and then they look up and they're still living check to check. That's not a credit problem anymore. That's an access problem. Credit gives you access to loans, cards, opportunities, but access without a system is just a bigger trap. Think about it this way. You ever seen someone get a 30,000 credit line and it maxed out within 6 months? That's not a character flaw. That's an operating system running the same program. Most people's financial behavior is locked to their financial identity. In my teaching, I call it the identity thermostat. If your internal thermostat is set at broke, better credit just means you qualify for bigger debt. Credit scores don't just respond to effort. They respond to data patterns, and so does wealth. This program is sponsored by the release of my latest book, Credit to Wealth in 30 Days. Oh, how to build financial freedom using credit, business, and investing. Listen, you've got to read this. This is a paradigm shift, and this is one you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to read it. To get your copy, check the description for this video. Be blessed. So today, we're not just talking tactics. We're talking about the system underneath the tactics. So let's get this layer straight. This is for credit purposes. Let me show you something they don't put in the financial literacy handbooks that maybe you've accessed. Previous generations had two income streams guaranteed: pensions and Social Security. Pensions were a promise. Work 30 years and we'll take care of you. Then one by one, companies said they couldn't afford it and pensions disappeared. Social Security, that fund is draining. Fewer workers paying in, more retirees pulling the money out. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud, but it's the truth. When Social Security benefits were designed to kick in at 62, at the time this was created, the average life expectancy was 59 to 60 years old. I'm going to say it again. The system was designed for people who wouldn't live long enough to collect. Now people are living into their 80s and 90s, and the system was never rebuilt to handle that. So what does this generation have instead? Less guaranteed income, more debt than any generation before us, cost of living going up, wages not keeping pace. And what does Wall Street say? Be patient, save 15%, trust the market. That math doesn't work in totality anymore, because the truth of the matter is the system wasn't built for you to win. Listen, it was built for you to participate. And there's a huge difference between winning and participating. Participating means you're in the game, but not building equity in it. Winning means the money keeps moving even when you stop. That's the gap we're closing today. Now listen, there is a strategy, and here's the shift that's going to take for you to get this and win. Traditional advice says split your dollar, part to debt, part to savings. Both crawl forward. But the same dollar strategy works completely differently. This is the move. Use $1 to eliminate debt and accumulate wealth at the same time. This is not a 50-50 split. This is a unified system where your dollar pays down debt. That same dollar simultaneously earns compound interest. Wealth grows while debt shrinks. Not after, I said while. Person A follows the traditional path, spends 7 years grinding down debt, then and only then starts building wealth. By the time they start, they've lost 7 years of compound growth they will never recover. Person B, on the other hand, uses the same dollar strategy. From day one, wealth is growing, even while debt is being eliminated. 7 years later, same income, same effort, same person, but completely different financial position. Same person, same habits, different positioning. And that makes all the difference. Debt freedom is a milestone, not the goal. The goal is wealth. I'm going to say it again because you got to hear this. Debt freedom is simply a milestone. It's not the goal. The goal has to be wealth. So let's get the business layer. Now, if you're a business owner, I need to speak to you directly for just a moment. Business owners have access to credit that most people will never see. Business credit lines, SBA loans, equipment financing, real leverage. But here's what most entrepreneurs are doing with that access. They're funding overhead, keeping the lights on, making payroll, using business credit to fund survival, not to build wealth. That's the leverage mistake. Business debt can be strategic. If it's generating returns that exceed the cost of capital, it's now strategic. But most owners are carrying personal debt inside their business. The CBL framework for business owners sets it like this. Credit is for funding growth, not survival. Business is the income engine. It must produce more than it consumes. And then life leverage is the point where your business generates wealth beyond your personal labor. Let me say that last part again. Leverage is when the business generates wealth beyond your personal labor. Now we're talking a goal. Because if your business can't function without you for 30 days, you don't own a business. You own a job. And a job with debt is just a more stressful job. Listen, if you're seeing yourself in this, I want you to do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to this great channel, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I'm going to be uploading great content just like this. Now, here's something that's very, very important. We got to get this pivot. There's something nobody's going to tell you, but you're going to hear it here. All the tactics we just talked about, none of it works if your identity thermostat is still set to broke. Here's how the CBL actually works. Credit positions you for access. So we got to get credit straight. Business creates the income. So we've got to make sure it's structured right so that it can do its job. Life is where you build and protect wealth. Most people have one piece, maybe two. Almost nobody that I've encountered has all three working together at the same time. The debt to wealth system is the L. That's the piece most people are missing. Credit in place, income coming in, and a system that grows your money while protecting your family. That's a different life, not just a different bank account, a different life. And here's the identity truth underneath all of this. You don't have a debt problem. You have a programming problem. And you can't fix a programming problem with a payment plan. You fix it by changing what you believe is possible, what you believe you deserve, what you believe money is actually for. You see, the system taught you to participate. I'm teaching you to win. Here's the blueprint that I want you to learn. 3 steps. Let's go. Step 1, separate the money. Open a dedicated account completely separate from your day-to-day spending. This is your wealth deployment account. Nothing else touches it. When money sits in a compound account, it gets observed. You can't have a combined account. By lifestyle, you're going to take this money. By emergencies, you're going to be taking this money. By friction, you're going to be taking this money. Separation creates intentionality. Intentionality creates behavior change. Within 90 days, days, you'll have a clear picture of what you're actually building versus what you're just cycling through. This is the first physical act of resetting your identity thermostat. Step 2, redirect the dollar. Identify one recurring dollar amount every $100 a month and deploy it through the same dollar strategy. The compound effect of a dollar working for wealth building while simultaneously reducing debt is exponentially more powerful than two half dollars crawling toward separate goals. The math starts working for you. Compound interest on your side, not the bank's. You're no longer managing scarcity. You're deploying strategy. That's a different identity. Step 3, protect the system. Build the life component of the CBL framework around your system. Protection, legacy, and continuity. Wealth without protection is just delayed poverty. Business insurance, life insurance, proper equity structure, estate planning. These are not luxuries. They're the architecture that keeps what you build intact. You're not just building a number, you're building a legacy that outlasts your most productive years. This is when you stop thinking like a participant and start operating like a wealth architect. Now, this is critical and important today. Let me leave you with this. This may not be for everybody, and it's okay. But if any part of what I laid out today hit you, if you recognize yourself in the person A example, if you've been funding survival instead of wealth, you owe it to yourself to at least see what's possible. This is important. If this broke something open for you, like the video and subscribe. The algorithm rewards engagement and it helps us reach more people who need exactly this. Drop a comment right now and tell me, are you in the separation phase, the redirect phase, or the protect phase? I read every single one. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to see the full debt to wealth system and how it connects back to your credit and your business, the link is in the description. Check out the Debt to Wealth program or any other link there to help you get the money flowing. Listen, I'm very excited to have this opportunity to share this great content with you. We are building something here that's going to be phenomenal. I'm dedicated to helping 30 million people around this world build, live, and sustain wealth. And I'm going to tell you, it starts with the principles you just heard in this video. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.